Hi everyone, Matt Kloskowski here, and I'd like to show you how to create templates inside of Photoshop using a feature they call Smart Object. But what's really cool about this is you're going to see how Photoshop's got a feature that lets us use the same image multiple times in multiple different layers and multiple different sizes with layer styles and everything. And really just with a couple of clicks, I'm able to replace it with another image. So it really does become a template that can work for. So here, let's build this from scratch. So I'm going to show you, I've got just a folder here. It's got a type layer inside of it. If I hide the white background, you see it's just got a rectangle with some type. So we're going to make a wedding template here. So let's head up to the file menu. I'm going to hit place and I'm going to place in a photo. So I'll just hit place. You'll see it shows up, enter, return. So now we got this photo in the background. Okay. The only reason that it looks semi-opaque is because one of the things that I have on top of in this layer here is just a white layer. Okay. And you're just able to see through it a little bit. So this is what we have so far. So there's our layer. If you look at it, it's got that little badge on it. That means it's a smart object layer. Well, let's do something here. Let's go ahead and press Command or Control J to duplicate it. I'm going to drag it up to the top because I want it to be in front and I don't want it to be semi-opaque like the one in the background here was. I'm going to hide it for just a second. I'm going to take my rectangular marquee tool. We're just going to do a little design. This actually has, what we're doing right now has literally nothing to do with smart objects. We're just going to make a design, and I want to show you just how complex you can get with these designs and have smart objects still work for you. So I'm going to make a rectangle here. I'm going to turn the layer back on. If I hit the layer mask, watch what happens. It keeps what was selected, and it hides everything that wasn't selected. So now this is what we see. If I turn that little link icon off in between, I can take my move tool and on the layer thumbnail, I can now move it around. And it's independent of everything in the background. So let's go ahead and do just that. Maneuver it into place. I'll double click the layer. We can add a stroke layer style to it. We can reduce the opacity a little bit here. Let's even go in and add a drop shadow layer style. Just gives it a little bit of depth. Reduce the opacity again. Click OK. So now we've done a certain thing to this smart object layer. Well, let's press Command or Control J again. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the link between the two, the layer and the mask, back on because I'm going to move it and I want the mask to travel with the layer. So I'm going to maneuver it into place. I'm going to turn it off again because now I want to separate them. I don't want to change the mask. And I'm just going to free transform. And let's flip it horizontally. And here, let's go in here. Let's just zoom in right on the flowers for that one. Command or Control J again. Turn the link back on. Move it down to the bottom. All right. Turn the link off. Click on the layer thumbnail. Command T for free transform. And let's zoom in on her. So we just see her. I'm actually going to go back down to the top one here. And let's turn the link back on. I'm going to free transform and make this one. Oh, see, I turned the link on. You see what happened? I meant to keep the link off. By turning the link on, I actually resized the mask with it. So let's turn that link off. And I just want to resize it so that they fit in there just a little bit better. All right, so what do we have here? Well, we've got the same photo and we've got it used a few different times. I'm sorry, it's kind of bugging me, folks, but I've got to move this one down so it's centered a little bit better. There we go. We've got the same photo used several different ways with layer styles, strokes, drop shadows, all these different things, rotated, transformed, all these different things. Well, the next image comes along and we want to use this same exact template. Here's where it gets really cool. All we have to do is go click on one of the smart object layers. Come up here to the layer menu, go down here to smart objects and choose replace contents. I'm going to replace it with another image, this image right here. The key is it's got to be the same size as the original one. That's what makes this all work. But watch what happens. I'm going to click place. This is where it gets really neat. Ready? Look at that. See how it went in? And it replaced it, and it even resized it and flipped it and transformed it and did all these things to it that was done to the original photo. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes you're not, you may have to come in and it may just fit a little bit different. So you'll want to go in and, maybe we'll zoom in on their hands for that one. And then we'll go up top to the top version and Maybe we'll just move that one around a little bit. So you might have to tweak a couple of them, but it's certainly better than having to go in there and re-import the same image 4 different times and change the whole thing. And you're able to create pretty cool little, template collage type of thing. It's almost like a single photo collage you're able to create with really just a couple of clicks. And the last thing we would do is go in here and just tweak the text. Because chances are it wouldn't be the same date and it wouldn't be the same name people. So you might want to change that as well. So smart objects, very, very cool little features here inside of Photoshop. And they've been around for a while. So whether you're using CS6, CS5, even CS4, they'll work on most of the recent versions of Photoshop. And it really lets you create a Photoshop document that can actually start doing some work for you rather than you always having to go in and change layers and change styles. And that's one of the keys here. Look, it kept all the layer styles that went along with those layers. Very, very cool little feature. Make sure you check them out. My name is Matt Koloskowski. I'll talk to you again soon.